Welcome to my video S.P.L-400, Microsoft Power Platform Developer Latest Exam Questions and Answers Set 4. A company deploys a set of automation processes. A process generates errors. A portion of the error log is displayed below. The error is generated by a flow action. Statement no. The code represents an authentication error. Statement no. The code does not declare a team ID. Statement yes. The following code updates the customer size code choice column on the account table if the number of employees column value is greater than 100. Line numbering is provided for information only. Does the retrieve method use the correct parameters? Statement yes. Will a plugin triggered on the update of the number of employees column execute after the update method is executed? Statement no. Will an exception be thrown if the value for number of employees is null? Statement no. You are developing a PowerApps app to manage records in the account table in Microsoft Dataverse. You must configure a web API request to retrieve changes from the table. You need to configure the preference header for the API request. What should you include in the request header? A. odata.next link. B. odata.context. C. odata.delta link. Correct answer, C. You enable change tracking on the account table in Microsoft Dataverse. You plan to use the organization service to retrieve the Delta data by using C#. You need to determine which message to use. What should you use? A. Retrieve attribute request. B. odata.track changes. C. Retrieve entity changes request. D. Update entity request. E. Update request. Correct answer, B. A Microsoft Dataverse database contains two custom tables named Tabli and Tablab. The tables are configured with the following: a one-to-many relationship is configured between Tabli and Tablab. A lookup to Tabli appears on a form in Tablab. Both tables are components of an unmanaged solution. Both tables are components in a Power BI report. You receive an error when attempting to delete Tabli. You need to delete the table. What should you do? A. Remove Tabli from the Power BI report. B. Remove the relationship between Tabli and Tablab. C. Remove Tabli from the unmanaged solution. D. Remove the lookup field to Tabli on the Tablab form. Correct answer, B. A company uses SharePoint for its intranet and other functions. The company has also implemented model-driven apps. SharePoint users must be able to create contact records in Microsoft Dataverse without having to navigate to the model-driven apps. You need to create a link in SharePoint to open the Dataverse contact form displaying data from SharePoint. How should you complete the URL? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. http://contaso.crm.dynamics.com/main.asks @n equals contact and extracts equals param underscore 1% 3 SharePoint and page type equals entity record. A company uses a model-driven app to record details of laboratory test. You are asked to create a custom component that makes it easier to capture multiple values from lab test results on mobile devices. You need to create the interface for the dataset in case the mobile devices lose connection to the network. Which method should you use? A. Save data. B. Update view. C. Init. D. Get client. Correct answer, A. Technicians for a company use a model-driven app on their phones to record information about service visits. Users do not have permissions to the PowerApps Maker portal to create or update apps. Technicians report issues with a model-driven app. You are unable to reproduce the issues in a development environment. You need to provide instructions to the technicians to gather more details about the errors. Which 4 actions should you recommend be performed in sequence? To answer, move the appropriate actions from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in the correct order. Actions. 1. Open the app in a browser on the phone. 2. Add the following text to the end of the URL for the app, and monitor equals true. 3. Perform the steps to generate the errors and download the results from monitor. 4. Open the application in a browser on a laptop computer when they return to the office. You are creating a model-driven app. Users need to see only the entities in the app navigation that are relevant to their role and their method of accessing the app. You need to restrict entities on the sub-areas in the sitemap. Which properties should you use? To answer, drag the appropriate properties to the correct requirements. Each property may be used once, more than once, or not at all. You may need to drag the split bar between panes or scroll to view content. Requirement: ensure that the entity is visible only if the user can create records. Property privileges. Requirement: ensure that the entity is visible only if the user is accessing the app with a web browser. Property client. You fix a bug in the code of your application, which is currently on version 10.0.2.1. You need to publish an updated version of the solution. Which version identifier should you use? A. 10.0.3.1. B. 10.0.2.2. C. 10.1.0.2. D. 11.0.0. Correct answer, B. Fabricam Incorporated has two divisions as shown in the Business Unit exhibit. Click the Business Unit tab. Fabricam Residences rents units short-term to clients. Fabricam Property Management deals with the maintenance of the units and manages the contractors who perform the maintenance. Clients and contractors are both stored in the contact entity. The manager of the Property Management Business Unit is a member of the Fabricam Residences Business Unit, which has the root security role as shown in the Security Role exhibit. Click the Security Role tab. The manager cannot see the contact record shown in the Contact exhibit. Click the Contact tab. The manager cannot see the contact record shown in the Contact exhibit. Click the Contact tab. Modify the security inheritance. Statement: yes. Move the manager to the root Fabricam Business Unit. Statement: no. Expand the read permission of the security role to be business unit level. Statement: yes. A company has a development environment and a production environment. The production environment has several third-party managed and unmanaged solutions that made changes to the contact main form. You create a new solution in the development environment. You add the contact entity and the contact main form to the solution. You create a custom field on the contact entity. What happens when you perform these actions in the new solution and import the solution as managed into the production environment? Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. 1. Action: add the field to the middle of an existing section in the contact main form. Result: the field is appended to the end of the existing section. 2. Action: create a new section in the contact main form and add the field to the new section. Result: the field is added in a new section. 3. Action: create a new form and add the field to the middle of an existing section. Result: the field is inserted in the middle of the existing section. An organization uses Dynamics 365 Sales. The organization has accounting and customer service departments. You must restrict users in customer service from being able to change the value of the balance field on the contact records. The accounting team must be the only team able to edit this field. You need to create the appropriate solution without any customizations. What should you do first? A. Enable field security for the balance field and grant the customer service team read and update permissions. B. Create a customer service form and role and make the balance field read-only. C. Enable field security for the balance field and grant the accounting team read and update permissions. D. Create an accounting form and role and make the balance field read-only. Correct answer, C. You are developing a model-driven app for the purchasing department of an organization. You provision a new test environment and a security role. You select users to test the apps and assign the users to a security group named Test SG. If the tests succeed, a manager will perform additional testing in the production environment and then publish the app for the organization's purchasing department. You need to ensure that the test and production environments are configured correctly. What should you do? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Ensure that only test users can access the test environment. Security artifact: set the test environment security group to Test SG. Assign test users the app security role. Ensure that only the manager can access the app in production. Security artifact. Assign the manager the app security role. Ensure that test users can access the app in production. Set the production environment security group to test SG. Ensure that purchasing department users can access the test environment. Add all users in the department to the test SG security group. A travel company plans to track the address of places their clients visit in an entity named destination. Client information is captured as contact records. Client records include links to the places that clients visit. The company must be able to link multiple rating records to the new address record. You find a custom rating entity that is incomplete. You need to expand the rating entity to include contact, address, and rating information in one place. Which 3 actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. Create a 1:(n) relationship between the contact system entity and the address system entity named destination. B. Create a mapping for the contact rating relationship. C. Create a 1:(n) relationship between the address system entity and the rating entity. D. Create a 1:(n) relationship between the contact system entity and the rating entity. E. Create a mapping for the destination rating relationship. F. Create a 1:(n) relationship between the destination entity and the rating entity. Correct answer, A, B, C. A company uses Dynamics 365 Sales and the Microsoft Online Services portal. The multi-select option set field data type is not supported in the portal. You need to copy the selected field value to the text field. How should you configure the organization service request? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Correct answers. True. Attribute metadata. A bank uses a common data service solution to manage clients. Bank representatives perform client credit checks while the client is present. Credit checks may take up to 5 minutes to complete. Bank policy dictates that the bank representative's app must stay blocked until credit checks are complete. You need to display a model-driven app while credit checks run to ask the bank representative and client to wait for the credit check to complete. Which function should you use? A. xrm.navigation.openWebResourcePrefix.myPoliteMessage.html. B. xrm.navigation.openAlertDialogMyPoliteMessage. C. xrm.utility.openWebResourcePrefix_myPoliteMessage.html. D. xrm.utility.showProgressIndicatorMyPoliteMessage. Correct answer, D. You are creating a model-driven app. Users need to see only the entities in the app navigation that are relevant to their role and their method of accessing the app. You need to restrict entities on the sub-areas in the sitemap. Which properties should you use? To answer, drag the appropriate properties to the correct requirements. Each property may be used once, more than once, or not at all. You may need to drag the split bar between panes or scroll to view content. Requirement: ensure that the entity is visible only if the user can create records. Property privileges. Requirement: ensure that the entity is not visible if the user is using an on-premises deployment. Property SKUs. Requirement: ensure that the entity is visible only if the user is accessing the app with a web browser. Property client. You are troubleshooting PowerApps solutions. You need to determine the cause for the identified issues. What is the root cause for each issue? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Issue solution checker does not complete a run for one solution but works for a different solution. Reason: a Canvas app in the first solution has errors. Issue: you encounter an error on line 3 of a web resource as shown below. Reason: the code uses the following rule: web use strict mode.